I'd like to give you one very powerful question for when you're feeling very stuck, internally conflicted, triggered, in a survival state, dysregulated. That question is, what don't I want to feel here? What don't I want to feel? So in many cases, when we're in these states, we want to resolve how we feel to feel better, but without actually acknowledging or feeling how we're feeling. So let me give you some examples. So maybe a friend has let you down and you're ruminating on that situation for days, and you just feel really dysregulated and out of sorts. Maybe you've got to speak publicly in a few days and you're stuck in a state of anxiety about it. Maybe, you're on a family trip and your sibling is really, has just had some big successes, and you just find that really triggering, and like they're just annoying you all the time. And you can't really be happy for them or connect to them. And in these situations, we've been so heavily conditioned to avoid what we're feeling because it feels just really unsafe. It feels really unsafe to go towards the vulnerable emotions that may lurk beneath the surface. Feelings of shame, feeling maybe worthless or helpless, or maybe there's anger that feels really scary to acknowledge and allow. Or it feels like we're unlovable, or that we're afraid. To allow these feelings can feel really unsafe, either very vulnerable, or we're afraid that if we allow it, we're going to become it. If I acknowledge that I'm afraid, then I'm just a scared person, or I'm going to become worthless. If I allow that feeling, that means it's true. But our mind keeps on playing these games, and I'll get to that in a moment, of trying to resolve the situation without going near these feelings, and that just loops forever. You can't ever resolve the problem at that level. And so let me go back to these examples of, say, you've got your friend who's let you down. Maybe you just feel really angry deep down, and it's that resistance to that anger that's keeping you stuck. Maybe with this public speaking example, maybe you're anxious because deep down you're just very afraid. And it just feels really gnarly to just acknowledge, do you know what, I'm actually really terrified of speaking publicly. I'm afraid that people are going to laugh at me, all this kind of stuff. With your sibling, it's like I'm afraid of acknowledging that I feel ashamed. If I think about or contemplate my sibling's successes, that just makes me feel really ashamed, like I'm not good enough. And these are the feelings that really lie at the heart of what's going on for us. Yet, because they feel so unsafe, our mind goes into these coping mechanisms. Maybe we're overthinking, we're continuously analyzing or projecting, or we're trying to reason our way out of it. So, I shouldn't be afraid of public speaking because the audience is going to be very friendly. And, I should be. There's all these reasons why I should be so happy for my sibling because I'm doing great as well. And our mind is just trying to give us reasons. All this is doing is just trying to avoid that feeling, trying to resolve the situation without feeling the feeling. Or we distract ourselves. We drink a bit too much. We're constantly having fun or trying to stay busy. We might disengage. We might isolate ourselves and withdraw. In that family situation with a sibling, we might just feel like we just want to go and hide in our room, like when we were small. We might continuously try and improve ourselves, be working all the time. There's almost any kind of reaction in the mind or the body like this is this coping mechanism, this attempt to deal with some situation, some feeling without actually going there. And this is why this question is so good, because it cuts through all of that, because that stuff is just going to loop forever. When it comes to reasoning and ruminating or trying to improve yourself or just keeping busy all the time, these tactics, you're going to have to use them every day of your life. And instead, you can cut through the situation. Okay, what don't I want to actually feel here? It's like, I'm ashamed. I'm afraid. I feel helpless. This is the truth of what's going on for us. And it can help just to soften things to even begin to acknowledge that. And then we can maybe even start making inroads into starting to welcome in some of those parts. Now that's a little bit beyond the scope of this video, but I have lots of content that covers how you can start to do that. There's one video called How to Feel Your Feelings. another called What It Actually Means to Feel Your Feelings. So go and check those out. But hopefully this can give you a bit of a shortcut when you're feeling really stuck or triggered, just to pause and go, hang on a minute, I recognize this, I'm just looping here. What don't I want to feel? And you can start to cut through some of the defenses of your mind and your nervous system. Not in a way that's trying to reject them, it's just you're just seeing what's true, you know. I hope that helps. And I do work with people one-on-one, helping them to feel their feelings and work through and you know, become more conscious of how their feelings and their mind works. So just reach out if you want some support. Thank you very much. See you later.